Welcome to the Discover Universal podcast. Keep your hands and feet inside the vehicle. And watch your step on the moving walkway because we're taking you park to park to prepare you for your next visit. Let's Discover Universal.
Hello, everyone. I'm David, and I'm feeling villainous.
And I'm Kari, and I'm feeling like a bigger villain.
Kari, I'm going to take over the world.
Oh, well, I'm going to turn the moon into cheese.
Oh, yeah? Well, I'm going to make every cat on the planet hairless.
I'm going to use the freeze ray on Orlando.
That sounds nice. Well, I'm going to take the universal globe and shrink it and put it on my keychain.
I'm going to shrink the Universal Lands of Adventure Lighthouse and use it as a lawn ornament.
Well, I'm going to shrink the miniature golf course to make it extra miniature.
Why are we shrinking everything?
I don't even have a shrink ray.
Oh, we're having too much fun with this already.
Let me clear my throat there. Oh,
we are
man.
talking about Illumination's VillainCon Minion Blast, a brand new attraction coming here to Universal Studios Florida.
This is so exciting.
Yes, it is.
This is the best part of our job. Whenever we get to talk about something brand new,
Yes.
coming to our favorite parks.
And we get to pick the brains of our experts. We have Carson coming on today. We're going to ask them all about the attraction.
Yeah, they're from Universal Creative.
That's right. And they worked on some
this
of the
thing.
development and technology. So we're definitely getting a little bit of a behind-the-scenes taste today. Certainly for our listeners. And David and I are going to learn along with you.
So stay tuned.
Are we hanging up our villainous alter egos for now?
I believe we are.
We're setting them aside.
We are back to
No more plans for world domination.
podcast
For now.
hosts here.
Okay. Evil podcast hosts?
We could be tinged villainous.
Okay.
Okay, for now, we need to talk a little bit about this attraction and what we do know. Because I know that we have a rock star that's coming.
Yeah!
They're going to set us straight, going to answer all of our questions.
That was my rock star voice.
That was good. You've been to a not a villain con.
No,
but
not
you've been
I've
to a convention.
Comic convention.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, so the premise of this, it's based off the Illumination's Minions film franchise.
Yes.
And so in those films, we go to VillainCon, and it's this fun convention, and all the villains are showing off their villainous gadgets, and they're like celebrities, right? You can meet the villains, you can, everyone's cheering for their favorite villain, all that stuff. So you're right. I've never been to a VillainCon.
Right.
But yeah, I've been to a comic book convention. It's fun.
It sounds
It's
fun.
cool.
I've never been.
Everyone has the booth set up.
Yeah.
You can go around and you can see like different artwork and things. And like everyone's favorite thing is there, right?
Cool.
So whatever you're into, you go to, and they have like panels and you can like meet celebrities and stuff. And so I think a lot of that, like the essence of that
Sure.
is kind of going to be included in this attraction, which is really fun.
That sounds great. That's
Yeah.
certainly totally new and different. Now, we want to reiterate that it is here at Universal Studios Florida.
Sure.
And it is across from an existing attraction called Despicable Me Minion Mayhem.
One of our favorites.
So adding to the franchise there, kind of expanding the world, which would be really cool.
This is right in the entranceway of Universal Studios Florida.
Yep.
So when you come in Universal Studios Florida, right down the main street there, you can't miss it. You'll see the big Gru's house on the left of Despicable Me Minion Mayhem. And now just right across the street on the right will be VillainCon Minion Blast. I can't wait.
I'm digging it. I got to tell you, I love the Minions.
Do you?
I think they're adorable. I think they're hysterical. They're some of my favorite parts of the movies. I think they're super silly and crazy. And I can't wait to see what kind of wackiness they get into with VillainCon Minion Blast.
I imagine there will be a lot of silly, wacky, fun action
Shenanigans,
in this
if you will.
attraction as well.
Yes. I myself, I guess, am speculating about this attraction. Until we hear from the experts, I've got my own ideas.
As I understand,
Yes.
there's a bit of a competitive aspect as well.
I have heard that.
We're going to be going head to head
So you're competing.
on this VillainCon Minion Blast.
David, do you think you have what it takes to become the next supervillain?
I don't know, but I think I have what it takes to be a better supervillain than you.
How dare you? How dare you? We have competed before
We have.
in a blaster style game.
Sure.
In fact, right here.
I take every opportunity to compete with you, Kari.
Yes, you do. I know.
I
Well,
will power walk faster than you to this attraction. I will.
how dare you? You will
I
drive
will
to
eat
the
more
parking
popcorn
garage
than you.
faster than me. Until now, I'm coming at you with my blaster.
You
no,
know
it's
what,
going to
though?
be a blast.
You know who's better than both of us at all of these things?
Our executive producer,
Our
Michelle.
executive producer, Michelle. I
Like-
bet she's going to be a natural at this.
Like-
She's got that villainous glint in her eye. I can see over there.
Truly
I don't know what's going on in that
undefeated.
head.
I predict, mark my words right now, I feel like Michelle is going to set the high score at VillainCon Minion Blast.
Yeah. I don't even know
From
if there
the
is a
jump.
high score.
These are questions that we need to ask.
We should.
Okay.
That is a good question.
I
Okay.
think it's
We have a lot
time-
of questions. What are we going to ask? We're going to ask what it is.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
What's the story? What's the
Who?
attraction? What are
Huh?
we doing?
Where?
Are there
When?
minions? Are there villains?
Why?
Probably.
How?
It's in the name.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's bring on Carson and really pick his brain so we can figure out what this thing is. We are here in the Radio Broadcast Center, and we are very lucky that we have an expert here because David and I really need it.
Yes.
We need to ask our friend Carson. Carson, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hello, David.
That's
Hello,
the
Kari.
way.
Below
Hello.
us, they say.
Carson, would you introduce yourself and tell us how you are connected to this project?
Sure. Hey, everybody. Glad to be back at the Discover
Welcome
Universal
back.
podcast.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm Carson, and I am proud to be a member of the team helping to build, develop, create, what have you, Illumination's VillainCon Minion Blast.
It's happening.
It's happening.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
All
How,
right.
how long have you been working on this project?
Me personally, I've been on this project almost 2 years. By the time we wrap everything up, it'll be 2 full years on this project.
And what is specifically your role in developing
yeah.
this amazing attraction?
So I'm an associate project manager on the project. I work a lot in different lines of businesses on the project. I do some work with AV. I do some work with lighting. I do some work with media development and audio development, and also gameplay development as well, which is super cool.
That is very exciting.
That's like the whole thing. Well, I
It's
think.
a little bit of everything.
There
actually
are,
know.
there are, and of course, I come here today representing a team of hundreds of people across all kinds of disciplines you wouldn't even think of go into developing these attractions. And I'm here representing all those very talented and extremely hardworking people today. So
All right.
a lot
Let's-
goes into this.
Let's do this.
All right,
I'm
let's
ready.
go.
VillainCon, Minion Blast. What is it? Well, it's an attraction, right? We can start
Yes,
there.
It is an attraction.
Cool.
What's the story? What are we doing?
Before I tell you the story, and I'll get into the story, I'll tell you all about the plot and everything. We're calling it a handheld blaster challenge along a moving walkway.
Love
so
that.
this is an attraction unlike anything that personally I've ever seen before. We've never done anything like this. It certainly takes pieces from attractions that we've worked on in the past, but what the result is a truly unique, just really cool experience that you're only going to be able to see here.
Well, all right. Okay, so we're already like 20 out of 10 on the unique factor. Love that. So it's a moving walkway attraction.
Based in the world of Illumination's the Minion film franchise, right?
Super Minion.
So maybe let's start there. Let's set the scene.
Sure. So, very exciting. If you saw the first Minions film, the Minions are dying to go to this convention for villains called
course.
VillainCon. And
Conveniently in Orlando.
And exactly.
Here we
are. In the 1960s, when the Minions visit VillainCon and they see Scarlet Overkill and all the various characters that are there, that is in Orlando. The story of our attraction is that the promoters of this year's VillainCon are essentially hiding in plain sight and have chosen a location, where nothing is unusual, an Orlando, Florida theme park. So they're holding VillainCon in the middle of Universal Studios, Florida. That's part of the story. Ken and you are at Universal
very
hosting VillainCon this
'Cause
year.
In the film, it's like some secret undisclosed location,
Yeah.
right? They have
Exactly.
some whole complicated
Yeah.
way to get there.
Exactly. Again, nothing is unusual here at Universal. So
Just people coming and
having,
going,
having
having
a,
fun.
having a super villain convention with all kinds of wacky gadgets and characters is, standard.
Par for the course.
For sure.
That's right.
Normal day here at the parks.
So the role of the guest, if you've seen the second Minions film, Minions: Rise of Gru, you get introduced to this group of characters known as the Vicious Six. And the plot of the film is that the Vicious Six have unceremoniously ousted their founding member, Wild Knuckles, and they're holding interviews for that sixth member of the Vicious Six. And in the film, of course, that's Gru trying to vie for that spot. And because he's a big fan of the Vicious Six, they're his heroes, he wants to be part of that group. So the guest is essentially taking the role that young Gru has in the film. And they have attended VillainCon this year, and it's a VillainCon for the ages because the Vicious Six this year are putting up a challenge, open auditions, open invite. Anyone who is in attendance can vie to be the sixth member of the Vicious
Auditions?
Six.
Gotta brush up on my 16 bars. I'm ready.
And
all your villain anthems.
Can there be a singing villain
Is it
in this one?
I don't believe this is a singing attraction, unfortunately, Carrie.
Darn. Okay.
yeah,
All right. Okay.
there's no musical accompaniment.
So what
there's a
do
great
I-
musical soundtrack though.
Well,
I'll tell you.
Which I hear
course.
you were also involved with.
I did help out managing that process and installing
We'll get to that
it.
later.
Anyway,
Okay. So
what do our
the
guests
Vicious
have
Six-
to do to audition for the Vicious Six?
For the Vicious
for
Six.
the role? Yeah.
So obviously, the Vicious Six are one of history's most notorious supervillain groups. They don't want people off the street. They want experienced, talented supervillains. So you're going to have to do a lot to impress them. And what they've done is they've set up a challenge.
Oh.
So you're going to be given your Eliminator X blaster, and you're going to board a moving walkway and head through different challenge rooms. Each member of the Vicious Six has set up their own unique challenge room that is kind of based off their personality and what they enjoy.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. So you're going to be tasked by the Vicious Six with causing as much chaos, destruction, setting things on fire, blowing stuff up, freezing things, knocking stuff back, shocking things.
Shrinking things?
No.
David and I really wanted to get into the shrink game, but
Yeah.
okay.
No shrinking.
All right. That's fair.
That went away with Vector.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Old
Okay.
news. Sorry, Vector.
So you're tasked by the Vicious Six with competing in this challenge, and you're going to move through each member's different challenge, and each of them has their unique spin on it. For instance, character Nunchuck,
Correct.
My
Who-
favorite.
who is essentially a nun ninja, has set up a musical
nunchucks.
challenge. If you remember in the film, she pilots kind of this flying organ machine.
Yeah.
So it's a musical challenge from Nunchuck.
Awesome.
So as we're progressing through the attraction, these different challenges, they're almost kind of like they're each like a mini game.
Yes. So
So
there's
overall, you're blasting your cause of mayhem, but it sounds like in each room
There's a
there's
task.
their own kind of set of rules and their own kind of fun twist on the game, right?
correct.
That's
Correct.
cool.
That's very cool.
Mixes it up. You got a
Yeah.
whole different experience every scene.
So you're passing through each Vicious Six member, their challenge room. Unfortunately, you're not the only ones vying for a spot in the group.
This is high energy, high
That
stakes.
sounds epic.
I know. I'm digging the musical challenge. I'm ready. So nuts and bolts, help me understand. So the attraction is VillainCon Minion Blast.
Mm-hmm.
The actual experience for the guests is the Vicious Six challenge.
Yeah. So
Okay.
Yes, correct. The story of the attraction is that you're undertaking this challenge that has been set forward by the Vicious Six.
Cool.
But it's at VillainCon. Takes
Right.
place
Yes.
at VillainCon.
Modern
Right.
day villain con.
And
Yes.
of course, the minions are wrapped up in it, as they always are.
I was
Always.
gonna
They're wrapped
ask.
up in it. They're there.
You can't have a minions based attraction without the minions getting involved
Not a little mayhem.
and causing a little mayhem. Right
Speaking
across
of,
the streets,
Yes.
our wonderful attraction, Despicable Me Minion Mayhem. Well-established attraction, super fun. Is it integrated at all story-wise? Is it related at all?
So yes and
They're
no.
just neighbors. They just wave across the
Yes
street.
and no. So certainly, they're drawing from the same kind of story universe. Illumination's VillainCon Minion Blast is based on all 5 Despicable Me Minion films. So yes and no. It does tie into Minion Mayhem. The coolest thing, and what I've always loved about this franchise, is there's 2 sides to Despicable Me and the Minions films, right? One side of it is the kind of heartfelt, emotional core with Gru, the Minions, the girls, his wife, and the kind of
Goyles?
the family aspect
Yeah.
of things.
Yeah.
The reason I
And-
cry every time we ride
Yeah.
Despicable Me Minion
That's
Mayhem.
correct.
Very,
Can confirm.
very heartwarming story. So that's one half, and Minion Mayhem certainly represents that half of the franchise. The other half of the franchise are the wacky villain characters, the gadgets, all the secret layers, and all the weaponry, and the evil pets, and the crazy vehicles, and everything that Gru originally is part of, but now he's up against as a member of the Anti-Villain League, right?
Super fun and goofy and campy and all
So-
that stuff. Yeah.
So Illumination's VillainCon Minion Blast kind of covers that side of the franchise. So it's super
love
cool.
that.
We've
Okay.
kind of united the entire picture,
Of the Illuminations films,
of
yeah.
the franchise
Yeah.
in these 2 attractions.
That's great. So yes, the minions will be running around during Villain Con as well.
Correct. So where we left Gru in Despicable Me 3, he's a reformed villain. He's a member of the Anti-Villain League with
That's
his
right.
wife, Lucy. And of course, the minions are still working for him. But at the end of the day, you've seen the minions for millennia. They like doing bad things. They're villains.
They were henchmen to the dinosaurs, right?
That's right.
If anything, they just love chaos, and they're not gonna pass up an opportunity to crash a party.
Excellent.
So even though Gru is not, he doesn't appear in this attraction, the minions are there, crashing.
I'm interested in
running
this
around.
in the convention atmosphere because, we're going to have smaller adventurers coming in here who maybe have never visited a convention. How are they going to be immersed in this world of Villain Con besides the attraction?
Sure. So we had a really good partnership with Illumination on this attraction and, all our attractions as well. And what they were super interested in with this attraction is expanding the universe. So we actually have new booths
Cool.
that don't appear in the first Minions film. We have 5 new booths. Malicious Motors, where you get your custom villain vehicle.
Naturally.
Unlawful Outfitters, where you get your villainous weaponry.
Nice.
Corrupt Companions, where you get your villainous pet.
What?
Devious Destinations, which is essentially a villain travel agency.
Right.
And then Diabolique Boutique is where you get your supervillain costumes.
Diabolique.
Come on now.
I love that.
That's perfect.
So before you enter the Vicious Six's challenge, you're going to be passing through the show floor, past all these booths, and you get to see, the things that they have displayed potentially that you can pick up if you're a villain.
Cool. That is very cool. I think that was one of the fun. Carrie and I were talking before we started the interview about comic book conventions and how much fun it's just to see all the different booths and all the different things. So
Yeah.
what a fun setting to explore there.
Some of the minions have come in cosplay as their favorite villains.
Oh, wow.
That's that's a huge part of
Yeah.
conventions is
Yeah.
dressing up. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
It sounds like you guys really had, like you said, a great partnership with Illumination, and you
Yes.
guys were allowed to be really creative outside the box.
Oh, yeah. We worked extensively with Illumination on this, and they just had so many really cool new ideas, again, on how to put guests in this role of an aspiring villain trying to join the Vicious Six.
That is
Awesome.
fun.
And bringing all those characters back. People love Vector, and we haven't seen Vector since the first movie, which
Right.
came out
That's right.
almost 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So he's back. Vector's back, baby. That's what he says. An attraction.
Come on, Vector. Oh, I'm ready.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
That's great.
So for guests experiencing this attraction, not only can they enter the Vicious Six challenge as part of VillainCon Minion Blast, they can take a souvenir home, a piece of the land home with them. There's going to be dining options.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
there's a lot coming down the pike for guests.
Tell me
to,
about that good gift shop.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
So any good convention has good merch, right?
That's
Right.
right.
Yeah.
So you're going to be able to pick up all the VillainCon swag that you want. And then, of course, if you're so pained letting go of that Eliminator X blaster at the end of the attraction, you can pick up a replica version of it to bring home with you. Yep.
Good. So I can buy my own.
So-
that way we can go home and practice. That way David and
might
I can have a
need to.
solid competition of who won.
So we know that it's not required to watch the films to enjoy the attraction itself. But if our guests really want to kind of dive into the story and recognize all the little details, are there certain films that this attraction draws from?
If you haven't seen all 5 of the Despicable Me Minions films, I would probably
okay.
check that out.
Ooh, good call.
I would definitely watch the first Minions film to get acquainted with, what VillainCon is and the things that kind of shake up there. And I would definitely watch Minions Rise of Gru so you could be introduced to our hosts, the Vicious Six.
And they're just great, funny
Stronghold.
movies too.
For sure.
Stronghold, Nunchuck, Bell Bottoms, Vengeance, and Jean-Claude.
There you go.
Other than that, so there is a 48-inch supervising companion requirement.
Okay.
And then no handheld infants because you're going to need both hands to hold your blaster.
It's important.
Yeah. The other thing I'll mention too, we're super excited. So, in addition to everything I've already told you about, we're super, super excited about how this attraction is going to essentially stay with you after you leave. Within the official Universal Orlando mobile app, there's going to be a
Love
official
that thing.
VillainCon app. So if you haven't downloaded the official Universal Orlando app,
What are you doing?
what are you doing? And for this one, I could not recommend it enough because it's going to allow you to track all your scores. So not just that. So there's, various leaderboards that you can, share with your friends and compete with your friends.
We like
and,
that competitive aspect.
trying to get bragging rights. But there is a leveling up and experience mechanic tied to this attraction.
I love this. So there's some continuity.
Yeah. So using the app, you're going to be able to earn experience points. You're going to be able to get digital collectibles that are found in the attraction and also in the larger land eventually. And then you're going to be able to complete villain missions to earn more powerful power-ups. And
So wait, at
secrets.
the end of the attraction, I don't have to take my phone out and take a screenshot of my score to prove that I did well? I
No.
can just use the points tracker?
Correct. So
This is revolutionary.
So by creating a profile in the VillainCon app section of the official Universal Orlando app, each time you come, you pair that with the blaster that you're given, and then your information that you have throughout the game is tracked. And what you can do is you can customize your loadout. We have 4 kind of basic attacks: Freeze Ray, Fireball, Lightning Bolt, and Force Blast. And those are the kind of main 4 that you'll be switching between with your Eliminator X blaster.
So you, as you're playing the game, are able to switch the mode of your blaster? Is that what you're saying?
Potentially. So you're given your Eliminator X blaster, right? And I will say that you don't need the app to play this game.
Okay.
Right.
It's an enhancement, certainly, though.
It is strictly a enhancement and an enticement for people to keep coming back to this
Sure.
attraction over and over
That's
again.
going to be, the people who come regularly are awesome
Yeah.
annual pass holders. That's going to be something fun that they can kind of hold on to.
And the
come
leveling
back
up
to.
mechanic, and you can earn perks that kind of alter your gameplay a little bit. That's certainly aimed specifically at people who come to the parks all the time.
I would like to know more about this moving walkway because,
Me too.
as we kind of mentioned, this is the new thing here.
So right off the bat, this one can turn. It's not just a straightaway.
Whoa.
It has little curves.
Oh, that's super cool.
Yeah.
All right.
This is amazing. So how does it work? So instead of, say, on an attraction where you'd be getting in a ride vehicle,
Mm-hmm.
you'd be going through the scenes. That is our method of ambulation
Method of
here.
conveyance.
Yeah.
Our method of conveyance. So how does it work? At the start of the attraction, will you stand on this moving walkway?
360
go.
experience.
Yeah.
It's like,
I guess that's true. So it does open up a lot of possibilities,
yeah,
right?
to me, it feels like if you played like an open world game,
Uh-huh.
you're not constricted by a seat or walls or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming, Carson, you can look around, you can look over your shoulder, you can,
Yeah.
you have full range of motion there
So
with your blaster.
Each scene has things that are all around that you can blast at. So you're going to want to be turning around constantly. We have one scene that happens on both sides of you.
Nice.
So you're going to want to be constantly moving around and rotating. So the fact that you're just standing on a moving walkway, moving through these scenes, you have a full free range of motion where you can aim your blaster and cause destruction and
That's
destroy
very
everything
cool.
in sight.
Keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's
Exactly.
great. This is going to be very helpful. Watch out. Watch out for me on this.
That's gonna be us
Yeah.
on the attraction. Just turn around.
Just turn around.
Turn around.
Oh, no. I'm used to only going forward. Very cool.
Yes.
Before we go, we're going to ask some rapid fire questions.
Yeah, I
Okay.
got some more questions. Let's do this.
If it too long didn't read, this is the moment for everybody that needs to know some high level information. Number 1, where is this attraction?
So you'll find it at Universal Studios Florida, right across from Despicable Me Minion Mayhem at Minion Land on Illumination Avenue.
Ding ding. That's correct. 10 out of 10. Can I keep my blaster when I'm done with it?
No, please give it back.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's disappointing. Fair enough. How tall do I have to be to ride it?
There is no height requirement. There
Okay.
is, however, a 48-inch requirement. If you're under 48 inches, you do need a supervising companion, and please, no handheld infants. You need 2 hands to hold the blaster.
There.
Who is your favorite appearing villain?
Balthazar Brett.
That's also the correct answer.
Yeah.
10 points.
How will I beat Kari in this attraction?
That'll be for the next episode. When I tell you all the tips and tricks of how
That's
to
the
win
deep
game.
dive.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you could be a supervillain, what would your supervillain name be?
I'm keeping that information secret at this time. Well,
Oh,
I don't want people to
cannot.
know who I am on the leaderboards.
That's right. Oh, on the leader.
That's smart. That's a tip. That's preview of the next episode.
So what will your villain name be?
I would be the spoiler, and I'd just tell you how it ends.
What an annoying superpower.
I know, I'm the
How
worst.
dare you?
I got some ideas for you, Kari, but
Oh, yeah?
I'll let you answer.
Me? That'd be Rockstar Ringer.
Whoa.
And I would only do the musical challenge. I'd lose everything else. I'm ready. David, we got to do this.
I can't wait.
I know.
I can't wait to experience this.
It's coming soon.
We're all very excited to show our guests this attraction. Again, it's super unique, super innovative, really, really cool. Everybody's going to love it. And it's got the Minions, man. You can't go wrong with those Minions.
You're right.
Couldn't have put it better myself.
Fan favorite.
I love that.
Well, VillainCon Minion Blast is coming to you at Universal Studios Florida here soon. Opening date to be announced. Carson's shaking his head. He's like,
Yep.
I'm not telling you anything. Thank you so much for being here, Carson. Lots of good information.
Yeah.
What's the opposite of below? How do they say goodbye?
Bye. To learn more about Universal Parks and Resorts, head to our show notes for links to our Discover Universal blog for a more in-depth look around our destination. While you're there, sign up to receive emails that will include articles, videos, and this podcast delivered right to your inbox to prepare for your next vacation. If you liked what you heard, leave us a review and don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.